Hello everybody, I am Tyler, and I am Dat Blind Guy. I am here to show you Death Battle Clive versus Dante. Or, no, it's Dante versus Clive. I have been a big fan of Devil May Cry for a long time, and I have heard some of what goes on in the newest Final Fantasy. I'm not sure which one it is. I think we're on 16. And I've been a big fan of this series for a long time. Go subscribe to their channel, subscribe to mine, like the video, like their video. I am excited to see where this is going. My bias is on Dante. Let's get into it. Go.
Dante vs. Clive. DMC's Devil Hunter versus Final Fantasy's Shield of Rosaria. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
The animation for the fight looks pretty good.
It's a dangerous world out there. Cultists, demons, and evil businessmen lust for power. And every day brings a new cataclysm humanity must.
The order of things people hate. Cultists, demons, evil businessmen. Clearly the right order.
This world may seem like the end, but for a devil hunter like Dante, it's party time. Who'd expect anything less from the son of the legendary demon Sparta? A dark knight who, thousands of years ago, woke up to justice and sealed away the demon lord, Mundus. But then Sparta mysteriously died, and his wife got iced by some demons, leaving Dante and his brother Virgil separated. Despite a long-gone
Do we not know how Sparta died? I'll ask the
family,
wiki
Dante
later.
kept a chipper attitude and set up a business dedicated to one thing. Killing demons! And with the blood of Sparta running through him, he's the best in the business. By harnessing his own demonic energy, Dante bolsters his speed, power, and durability.
Tony
letting him block
Redgrave.
kaiju-sized punches.
Fun fact, Tony Redgrave was originally going to be Dante's name in the original Devil May Cry, back when it was supposed to be a more survival horror game. But they ultimately split the two ideas and turned the survival horror game they were making into Resident Evil 4 and kept Tony Redgrave and changed it to Dante. Fun facts for you.
Move faster than a meteor. And like an unstoppable force of nature. As long as he has the energy, he can heal from getting shot, stabbed, sliced through. Basically anything. Even without his regeneration, he's survived heat that would reduce the layman to ash. But no hunter is complete without an arsenal, and Dante's got one hell of a sword left by his dad, Rebellion. Plus ebony and ivory, two magic pistols with endless ammo clips, and they say the perfect gift doesn't exist. But Dante's full arsenal is far
Dual-wielding
larger
gangster
and
style.
stranger. Like King Cerberus, a shape-shifting set of elemental nunchucks. Cavalier, a pair of buzzsaws that are also a motorcycle. Balrog, fiery fisticuffs for boxing and capoeira. And Navan, guitar. An electric guitar. There's also
a
Lucifer,
scythe and a vampire.
backpack of endless laser swords that Dante got after slaying. Actually, we never see how he beat Lucifer. Yeah, you know someone's a badass when they off-screen the actual devil. Then there's
That's
my
pretty
man,
impressive.
Dr. Faust, a sentient head that turns Dante into basically Orville Peck. Oh, it shoots crystallized demon blood. Dante needed this and much more when he got a warm welcome from the brother he thought long dead. In a twist of fate, Virgil was alive, but went down a very different path. While Dante was partying, Virgil studied the blade, seeking the power he needed to exert his will, even if it meant killing his own brother. Something he came close to doing in their first meeting. But the defeat only spurred Dante's awakening. He learned to teleport using Trickster, slow down time through Quicksilver, and double-team foes with Doppelganger. With a slick pose and the right timing, he can Royal Guard dang near anything, then use the absorbed energy to armor up as a dreadnought. And then there's
Sick.
Devil Trigger, a super form Dante achieves through his supernatural power. By tapping into his inner demon, Dante can fly and gains an enormous boost in speed and power. Naturally, his rematch with Virgil went very differently, and that was far from Dante's peak. When Mundus got up to his old tricks, Dante battled the Demon Lord in a vast sea of stars, a universe Mundus created on a whim.
Even later, Dante one-shot a stronger alternate future Mundus who had completely merged with the demon world.
So he's kind of a big deal.
Alright, it's a
Literally,
double
Mundus
universe
became
buster
a
feat.
living universe just for Dante to shoot him in the face.
Then there's Argosax, a god so astronomically intense he had the power of every other demon in existence, a divine deity of the sun that Dante also shot in the face.
Oh, that
Nice.
guy! I completely forgot about him.
Funny, so did Dante. Despite how powerful Argosax was, he was just an insignificant Tuesday to Dante.
So it's safe to say Dante had become the strongest around. But no amount of style, pizza, or wahoos could fill the hole in his heart. Sure, Virgil was a power-hungry weeb, but he was still his bro. Beneath Dante's antics, killing the last of his family kinda messed him up.
Until he learned his family wasn't as gone as he thought.
Yeah, it
turns
wouldn't
out
exactly go
he had a
great.
nephew, Nero, who Dante would help get into the family business in his own unconventional way.
And for dead weight, Nero was pretty badass, even helping Dante take on the so-called Demon King Urizen. Nero's Devil Breaker arm can fire light-speed lasers that Dante and Virgil have dodged.
Dante and Virgil can already dodge lasers in their base forms, but when charged with enough demonic energy, they can outright blitz beams over 11 times faster than light.
Nero even survived getting melted down while inside a living statue. It's a long story.
And something to note, Nero is only 1/4 demon, whereas Dante is half demon. That's kind of
The
crazy.
same sort of regeneration that Dante has, meaning he can survive being turned into a puddle.
So Dante was ready when Virgil somehow returned. Again. And made an apocalyptic demon
I think I
tree
kind of
for
hate
what
that
else?
joke.
More power.
With the
Just somehow they came back. Yeah, it was a weird and awkward line, but why does everybody use this whenever somebody needs to make a joke? I swear I see it so
entire
frequently.
world now on the line, Dante had to get serious and fully embrace his human and demon sides alike by stabbing himself.
Holy shit, Dante has been impaled so much, he decided to make it how he powers up. So he got his greatest weapon, Devil Sword Dante, and became Sin Devil Trigger. This is Dante's demon energy at its peak. It can fire lasers with Loose, obliterate with the fires of Judgment, and surpass even the legendary Sparta.
But although Dante was
Looks
totally
cool as
unmatched
fuck,
for
too.
Virgil, neither of them would budge on their ideals. Both were destined to duel until one was dead forever.
But thanks to Nero and 2 well-placed bitch slaps, they got some sense knocked into him.
Dante realized that if he couldn't make Virgil abandon his ways, he might as well keep an eye on him. In one fell swoop, the two severed the world-spanning demon tree and prepared for a permanent departure to the underworld.
You can choose your friends, but not your family. But if that's what it takes to keep Virgil safe, or rather to keep the world safe from Virgil, Dante will deal with it. And all things considered, he's happy slugging it out with his bro. Maybe happier than he's ever been.
Proof that as long as you have the human drive, even hell can become a paradise sweet enough that a devil may cry.
Alright. Who
Sit
is
down as we
Clive?
tell the tale of the kingdom of Rosaria and its prince, Clive Rossfield.
Okay.
A man destined to be a dominant, the host to a mighty guardian icon.
Anybody who's a dom can draw on magic life juice called ether, becoming a big scary monster.
And commanding the element they embody to create storms, slay armies, and split the sea. Dominants are forces of nature, and Clive would be the dominant of the Phoenix.
Well, he was supposed to, but Big Bird said no thanks and instead picked his sick little brother Joshua. Parents don't play favorites, but I guess ancient monsters can.
Despite the rejection and a deep loathing from his mother Annabella, Clive and Joshua were only kind to one another. Clive saw the burden his brother bore and accepted his blessing of the Phoenix in hopes of becoming Joshua's shield.
Meaning he learned a bunch of magic. He can shoot fire, teleport with Phoenix Shift, and took down this beast before he was even out of puberty.
Even without magic, Clive's a capable swordsman, able to boost his speed and perception with precision dodge. But it wasn't enough when Annabella betrayed Rosaria for the Empire of Soundbreath.
Her name is also known as Dat Bitch. Worst mom in fiction. And high competition in the worst moms in fiction.
In one night, Clive's knights, people and his own father were slaughtered before him.
Quick, someone use a phoenix
Jesus.
sound.
Those aren't in this
Kid
game.
got
Well,
fucked,
that's
splattered with his dad's
unfortunate,
blood.
but the
That's
Phoenix
where it was
icon
fucked.
sure is, because the trauma of everything made poor Joshua lose control.
Clive wanted nothing more than to help his brother, and perhaps this desire awakened the icon that was in him all along. The fiery beast, Ifrit.
Boy, is Ifrit a wild one. Just standing nearby will incinerate the average Joe. It can make fire barriers, regenerate lost limbs, decimate foes with a flaming spirit bomb, and shatter a walking mountain.
The downside being Clive couldn't control it. He didn't even remember becoming Ifrit, or battling the Phoenix in a fight that reduced everything he loved to cinders, leaving Joshua presumed dead.
If
Oh.
that wasn't bad enough,
Damn.
dear old Ma found him the next day and made him a slave to Sonbreck's army.
Damn.
Clive spent 13 years wallowing through life.
Like I said, she is secondary name, dat bitch, and worst moms in one of the worst moms in video games.
Searching for Ifrit's host for
Leave a comment if you can think of a worst mom in video games. This will be a fun game.
revenge, only to learn the one he wanted to kill was himself.
This revelation hit Clive like a phantom train. He thought death was all he deserved for taking the lives of Joshua and so many others. Even so, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. No, not like that.
Thanks to his friend Jill, the outlaw Sid, his doggo Torgal, and a very therapeutic battle with his self-hatred, Clive learned to
Sometimes
carry the
you gotta
torch for
literally
his brother,
punch your
fighting the
inner
real
demons in the
problems
face.
plaguing his world.
How that be?
Crystals and racism.
In the world of Valisthea, prejudice is alive and well for bearers. Basically, anyone who can use magic without special crystals.
So what better way to dismantle the system than to help fellow bearers and destroy the mother crystals ruining the planet, all while picking up some nifty abilities.
Through a mysterious power that lets him absorb icons, Clive took Garuda, an avian with sharp slashes and sharper talons. From Sid, he received Ramuh, so he could summon lightning.
From his babe Jill, he got Shiva to freeze lava and even time itself. With Titan,
Nice.
he can block and absorb blows with earth-shattering fists. From this Dragon Prince, he got Bahamut and some deadly lasers.
And through Odin, he can slow the flow of time and slice apart the fabric of space.
In fact, the reason it does look familiar is because the guy that made Final Fantasy XVI and Devil May Cry 5 is actually the same guy. They were made by the same director. Hence, why their gameplay looks a little similar.
Up to lead the bearers, and even reunited with Joshua, who was
Oh,
alive all
he's not
along.
dead.
Surprise!
Yay!
Clive spent 5 years freeing the land and became hot as hell while doing it. Well, no, not well, yeah, that way, but also through Ifrit. By using part of Ifrit's power, Clive can set himself aflame, activating
Sick.
Limit Break to boost his abilities.
But Limit Break is far from Clive's limit. After absorbing the Phoenix essence from Joshua, he became Ifrit Risen. Now fully in control of the monster that had tormented him, he embraced his role as a shield
Why
for his
become Fire Elemental when you could become Super Fire Elemental?
brother and friends.
Just in time to battle in space, block a planet-wiping blast, and overpower this dragon at the speed of light.
That's no exaggeration. Ifrit
Defeated
Risen is
Super
literally stated
Bahamut
to move at light
version
speed. Not
8.0
surprising
or
when
something,
Clive
I
has
don't know.
intercepted lasers over 3 times faster than that, and overpowered Omega, a god-slaying weapon that can destroy, and I quote, all of creation.
But what made Clive strong enough to do all this? You know, besides the majestic man cleavage.
Turns out Clive's birth was orchestrated. He was intended to become the vessel of Ultima, an ancient, all-powerful being that created humanity, but abandoned them after they developed free will.
Everything
Standard
that happened was the
JRPG
fault
bullshit.
of one person.
Okay.
God, the bastard! But Clive wouldn't be a puppet. If God was in the way of humanity's freedom, then God was gonna die.
Easier said than done.
No shit!
Ultima was stronger than anyone Clive had faced, able to warp all of reality to create a universe. But Clive had a secret not even Ultima foresaw. Over his journey, he developed a special state of mind, Logos.
AKA someone powered by human will and the bonds of consciousness with others. Okay, that sounds like anime friendship crap, but trust me, it made Clive a badass who could surpass his limits, getting stronger over the course of just one fight.
So much so that, despite struggling against Ultima initially, by the end of the fight, Clive took out Ultimalius, a more powerful amalgamation of Ultima and his entire species, all while Clive was in his base form.
Ultima literally became Ultima Squared, but Clive still kicked his ass. Using his bonds with his brother, his friends, and his unbridled will, Clive killed God in a giant 999,999 damage punch. Okay, so
Very
it really
cool.
was the power of friendship after all. Man, this guy's got a future in shonen.
Well, except we don't really know what happened to Clive. Whether he lived or died, though, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they pretend it's pretty ambiguous, but honestly, it looks pretty clearly that he died last gasp when he tries to do magic. Magic doesn't work, and then he kind of. So it's pretty definitive end to his life. And if you're wondering why I'm giving such aggressive spoilers, this game is, I believe, about 3 years old, and it's nearly 30 hours long. If you were going to get into it, you already likely have. And this is one of the... And Death Battle needs to talk about everything in the game's occurrence, and they're literally showing the ending right now. So, spoilers were present way before this.
And the world he made his life meaningful. Clive's dream of a future where everyone can live and die on their own terms had become a reality.
And his stories were written up in a book by a certain Joshua Rossfield, which he titled Final Fantasy.
That's fun.
The battle's coming up next, so call your winner now, folks, just like our...
I am gonna still say Dante. Dante's had half a dozen adventures, several technical outcomes where he's blown up a universe. Clive, I am sure is very strong. And he apparently also has blown up a guy who blew up a universe. That being said, his power progression ability is definitely interesting. Let's go.
Hey, I heard your fiery friend is causing trouble, and I'm in the business of dealing with trouble.
Leave now. I have a god to kill. The last thing that will stop me is a demon.
Well, Dante has pretty good arsenal for countering this. Okay.
Fancy yourself a bard?
Just moonwalk to dodge lightning. Oh shit.
No hiding in the shadows anymore, Smokey.
Super bazooka?
Time to see the light.
Gonna shoot a big laser? I'm gonna shoot a big laser.
Hell is that?
You would not know what a motorcycle is. That would be weird.
Burgess got some competition.
Dante is already used to fighting people who got crazy speed and light speed slashings.
Still holding out on me? Let's see what your monster can really do!
So the devil cries for more. Let's give him everything we've got. Joshua!
Okay. And now we're in space.
I won't underestimate you!
Very nice. Dante's healing factor kind of bullshit here. Clive does not have a healing ability.
Anymore. It's in a bag, Smokey. I need
Wait. Really?
Not bad. Not bad at all. For a fight like this, gods will be nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So Dante lost. How, though? Dante's got, like, bullshit regeneration, insane power, and an arsenal of 1,000 weapons. That being said, Clive does have a lot of ways of mostly countering them, and he has some even outright duplicates of them. Alright, Death Battle,
that was a
explain
whole
yourself.
other close, but I think we got the point.
This was not an easy call to make. Dante and Clive matched each other so closely, it was hard finding a definitive advantage either had. This is best explained through 3 categories, starting with stats.
Both
Honestly, I like that they do these categories, even if they change the categories basically every fight.
Dante and Clive could easily beat up
Still very cool.
universe-busting threats.
Mundus and Ultimalius could create universes at a whim, and Dante and Clive defeated them sans their own super forms. Dante and Clive could both consistently intercept lasers at faster than light speeds.
And Dante could always amp up with demon juice to briefly outspeed Clive anyway.
But Clive could match that by boosting his own speed and reflexes through precision dodge. Both were so beyond the pale that neither could definitively overpower
Alright,
the
so
other.
their
Still,
stats are
given
about
their
equal.
crazy powers, you'd think one of their abilities would break the deadlock.
Not so much. Dante and Clive could generally match each other blow for blow, be it to teleport, slow down time, flash freeze the other, block and absorb hits, etc.
And Dante could survive the intense flames of Ifrit. He's dealt with heat like that before.
Though Clive did not have a perfect match against Doppelganger, he did have more methods of manipulating time, both more reliable and abusable, in addition to defensive measures like Ifrit's barrier to fall back on to outlast powers like Doppelganger.
But their super forms evened out. Any edge Clive could get from, say, Limit Break or Ifrit Risen, Dante could match with Devil Trigger or Sin Devil Trigger.
In the end,
Okay.
both have answers to most of
Damn,
each other's
so
powers,
this is
making
basically
it still
draw straight
anyone's
on.
win.
Which is why it came down to one major factor: endurance. Just how long could these two keep at it?
While Dante's super forms could undoubtedly keep up with Clive's, there is an emphasis in story and gameplay that they expend a lot of demonic energy.
The longest Dante has battled in Devil Trigger against someone his equal is about 6 minutes, and abilities like Doppelganger, Quicksilver, and Sin Devil Trigger burn through it even faster.
Clive's time in Ifrit Risen isn't limitless either, but it can last longer, fighting for tens of minutes if necessary. But given how close this match is, it's vital. If Ifrit Risen catches Dante outside of Devil Trigger,
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty much true. Clive really doesn't have to drop out of his super form or his super form until the fight's over. Dante can't, even in any game or in any notable cutscene, has he ever just stayed at max power for as long as he wanted.
It's over.
I know what you're... Dante's crazy tough. His healing factor's way better than Clive's. Clive can regen lost limbs, sure, but Dante can heal from getting reduced to a puddle. Couldn't he just tank Ifrit's attacks?
Well, yes, but also no. This is where context is everything. While no doubt impressive, Dante's healing has been overcome in the past because it is tied to how much energy he has. Less demonic energy means a less potent healing factor.
Like when he got knocked out for a month straight by Urizen, only surviving thanks to a constant source of demon blood. Hell, overtaxing demon regen is how Dante killed Virgil in the first place.
Even if we assume Dante could get a second wind, it's always possible Clive could get one too, becoming even stronger from pure willpower, just like when he fought Ultimalius.
So, for as tough and persistent as Dante was, Clive was able to endure just that much more to get the final edge. The devil was in the details, but Clive's victory is no fantasy.
The winner is...
I don't know if I agree, but honestly, this is a pretty hard coin toss. I'll accept the answer.
Clive Rossfield.
That's fine, I suppose.
Next time on Death Battle.
Who next? Season 25 finale? Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon? What? How the fuck is this gonna work? How the fuck is this gonna work? They don't even use the same system. Also, I mean, yeah, a Shadow Duel technically will deal real damage, but they're not actually summoning monsters. They're just holograms that move around, that just mostly move. Unless I'm missing something massive, there's no way for this fight to make any sense. I mean, yeah, there was Jump Force or something that came out like a few years ago where you could play as Yugi and he moved them around like in a 3D fighter, but like I have no idea how non-canon that is.
Subscribe and join
Ash
us
Ketchum versus Yugi Moto.
Thanks for watching.
Okay. I'm curious, if nothing else. You sold me. Also, great fight. I couldn't quite hear the music, but I'll probably look that up later. Leave a comment down below if you want me to do more Death Battle reactions. Honestly, I'm probably going to make this a main series where every couple of weeks where a new one comes out, I'll do a reaction, if possible, same day. This was a wild ride, and this is definitely an ending I didn't see coming. Like the video, subscribe to me, go watch their version, go use their links, buy some Raycon, go... I'm not sure if it's legally ethical for me to tell people to go do gambling if I don't actually know the age and what the rules are for that in your country and or state. I know the states, in the United States, it varies state to state, but if it's legal where you live, go ahead and do that. Yeah. At any rate, thank you for being here. Leave comments, do the buttons you've been told, and have a nice day. Goodbye, everybody.